computer.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Belly Dragger on the Fly. This is our first episode we've ever done. We're really excited today. So we're going to be talking. It's the episode one. It's called Cab Love. So the best part about that, I'd first like to introduce some people who are really important to me. Well, first of all, my name is Chris Helseldrum. I'm the co-founder and owner of Belly Dragger Beverages, and this is my wife, Gretchen Helseldrum, who is the co-founder and COO of Belly Dragger now, and our fabulous winemaker, Ralph Hurd, who
Hey guys.
we've known for a long time. So, Gretchen,
Sometime.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. We're going to really talk about today as well, just so you kind of get an idea about our passion, how we kind of got into this and why. And so tell us a little bit about how you got into this.
So, hold on. Let me get my wine.
Cheers, by the way.
Cheers, Ralph.
Hey, cheers, guys.
Thanks for
Cheers.
joining us. Well, I'm from the Central Valley. I grew up in Merced, so a big agricultural area, as you well know. We've driven through it a couple of times. We've driven the length of the state a couple of times. But being raised in agriculture, you kind of get used to being around just a product that comes from the earth. So that was something that I felt like I could connect to with wine. And what I really like about it, and what I've spent most of my time on, is imports. So I like how studying a wine can kind of help you understand that culture a little bit better. And I love food, and I've been in hospitality. So all those things kind of connect.
How about you, Ralph? Tell us a little bit about you and what got you into all this?
Well, thank you guys for having me here. Wine's been my passion ever since I was like 5 years old. My parents been drinking wine since the 70s. They used to drag me along to all the wineries up in Napa when they were just like, mom and pop places.
When they were dirt roads.
Yeah. And basically they just kind of, made me a winemaker by, introducing me to all these wonderful vineyards over there in Napa, Sonoma, also in Livermore. We spent a lot of time over there in that area. But I come from, like Gretchen, like a kind of a farming background. Grew up in the Riverside area down in Southern California.
What do you know? Near us.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
What?
Family worked in packing houses, citrus packing houses during the turn of the century. And my grandfather worked for the etymology department at UCR. And basically that was kind of my passion. I used to spend a lot of time working out at UCR in the gardens and everything like that, and just, nice backbreaking work. So when I went to school at UC Santa Barbara and got my minor in chemistry, I really wanted to get back into the farming. So I started
One thing led to the other, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Started up a brewing club, and then had an opportunity to go work at a winery, and dropped everything and went up to DeRose Winery up there in Hollister. So, and 16 years later, well, actually now it's 20 years later, here I am.
It's funny how that creeps up on you. That creeps up on you. Well, that's cool. It sounds like you and I have a common kind of California connection there. But Chris,
I share none of that.
No, you
yes, you do.
You do for the last 25 years.
I shared a little farming on a strawberry farm. So
in Massachusetts.
Yes, in Massachusetts at the age of 12 and 13. So farming.
When you could actually work at 12 and 13.
Yeah.
A hard day's work. Exactly. What's it worth? You at the end of the day, you have a big bucket full of strawberries that you picked, right?
Yeah. But my passion kind of came out of culinary school. I had a food background, so spent first couple of years on a strawberry farm, Reston Kitchens, and went off to culinary school. And part of my culinary training was wine, and I got really into wine. I was learning from wine all over the world and in upstate Vermont. And when I graduated and wanted to go somewhere where food and wine was a focal point, really wanted to go to Europe first, but I couldn't get a work visa. So I packed up my car, I got a couple of names from a former instructor, and I drove from Burlington, Vermont to Napa, and then 25 years in Napa.
Wow.
And started this beautiful brand called Belly Dragger with my wife Gretchen and yourself there, Ralph. So
Yeah.
I got to pour a little bit more here before we go to our fly time. So the on the fly portion of the name of this what are we calling it? Podcast,
Yes.
blogcast.
Yeah.
Is on the fly, just because of that background in hospitality. So just meant to be sort of a quick kind of round where we really wanted to just get together and chat a little bit more about why we love Cabernet and the Cabernets that inspired it.
So
Yes.
Ralph. So I know
Ralph.
I know the family.
You're on the hot seat,
I know
Ralph.
your family, and you kind of got that. But where did it really start for you? The passion for wine. Like, do you remember that moment?
Or the wine?
Or the wine? I remember the wine in the moment.
I remember the wine. It was I was in between summertime, in between terms at UC Santa Barbara, and was at home visiting my folks up there, and we were lived up in the Bay Area, and they cracked open 1985 George Latour, and it was
BV?
dynamite. BV, yeah.
Okay.
And it was dynamite. It was absolutely just silky smooth.
That doesn't suck.
Yeah, no, it was gorgeous. It was really gorgeous. We were out in the backyard, and I was like, yeah, this is where I want to be.
How old were you?
I want to be able to make. I think I was like 20 or 19, somewhere around there.
Okay.
But I've been, like I said, during the holidays, my parents always poured us a little bit of glass of wine, just like, very European style, kind of a, family.
Kind of like, yeah, we do with the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's just, we always had something really special, but, it really didn't click until you go to college and you're drinking really bad beer or really bad cocktails and stuff like that. And then you come and you try something that is just absolutely elegant and supple and just gorgeous. Absolutely, just every sip is just an experience within itself. So
totally. Gretchen, yourself?
So this is something that I know you and I have talked about, but 1997 Edgewood Cabernet Franc.
Yes.
Edgewood doesn't exist anymore. Actually, the winery became Hall up in Napa on 29 there. But I was kind of fortunate that I lived in Napa twice. I was like a boomerang. I went there once, worked for the Napa Valley Register, the newspaper there. And that was kind of the same time that a lot of those late 90s Napa cabs, like 97, 99s, were hitting the market, which was so important for Napa. And Chris and I, that was actually one of like, not like the first dates, but like something that we talked a lot about. But I think for me, that wine, it was like, oh, sorry.
No,
okay.
go ahead.
It was like, I had been sort of putting the pieces together with Cabernet Franc and pyrazines and how they can be super green, or they can, just
so good.
It was like I was starting to kind of understand and educate myself more. And then I actually tasted that in the wine and was able to put that together as to why it was like that. So I think for me, it was kind of like having the knowledge was what ignited the passion,
Sure. Fun fact, I saved the CEO of Edgewood from choking on a piece of meat.
Oh yeah, this is
how much this connects back.
This is what we talked about.
Fun facts
with Chris.
At Cole's Chop House in downtown Napa back in the day. So myself, it started with a 1984 Nivelet, and Amarone. It was the first wine I ever had I still remember it to this day. Was the first wine that really kind of changed the way I thought about it and why I was drinking it. So it was that inspirational, and that's what drove me to Napa after being in this class with a gentleman who was studying to be a master of wine. This is 1992, and there was only 30 of them in the world at that point in time. So
true, yeah,
less than a half a dozen in the United States. So it was super cool, and really, my Napa fave is probably from that 94, 97 was Peter Michael Le Pavel. Just drop you to your knees, good.
Very nice. Very nice.
So absolutely awesome. So
Well, so that's a little bit about the wines we like to drink. But what about the wines we like to make? And I'm gonna go ahead and let Ralph answer this question. So what do you enjoy most about making wine, Ralph?
Well, first and foremost, I like using my hands. I like creating something with my hands, and I like creating something that I can share with my friends and family and anyone in the world. And it really gives you the history of how it's grown that particular year. It really just captures everything into that glass of wine that you get to experience. It just, you really can, there's so much, and it just constantly evolving and changing. So that's why I love.
It's kind of like cooking, you know, like people like to cook.
It is.
It's like they share their love. Okay, I'm also, Chris, what about you? Because you have a bit more production knowledge.
Being a culinary background,
yeah,
not a winemaker, I always loved the art of it. Like, to me, it was about the creation. It was almost like painting like the Mona Lisa, but you're doing it in a way where it's becoming a part of you. Like you're taking it in. It's not just you're looking at something, it's becoming a part of you. And that's what I always really love the most about making wine, is that it's you're really putting a piece of yourself, your true self, out there.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And so yeah, you know, with that being said, I mean, we're going into the next, this is kind of like, you know, it rolls into the next question that I have for you guys is, everybody makes Cabernet today, but not in the can. And of course, there it is in the can.
Woo! So, and we're drinking it. Yeah, absolutely. 2020.
So I have to ask you, Chris, you know, what makes making the Cabernet in a can enjoyable for you?
Or important for us, because it was, you know, it was always a part of the core.
I think for not only us, but how I personally felt about it was that I had really such influential people around me throughout my career who were even involved with making cab, or some phenomenal winemakers. But it was also truly the challenge of it. Because when we started looking out there, I can count them on one hand how many people make cab and can. And I never understood why. It's not like cab is kind of the more easiest varietal to make out of all. It's not Pinot Noir, but you know, there's that challenge of doing something and blazing your own trail.
Very true.
I would just add to that it's like, it's also just like we were saying, like it's a part of our history of being in Napa, you know, and just like those early memories being about Cabernet.
I'd agree. I think it's our DNA.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's where Belly Dragger was born. Yeah. So it kind of, it would have been kind of bad if we like didn't make a cab and we were living in Napa and making wine in Napa and selling it in Napa.
Yeah. Very true.
But I mean, that being said, it is California, and there's obvious other growing regions in the world that make great cab. So if we weren't going to make cab in Napa, Ralph, where would you want to make cab from? What's a good region you think?
I made some killer Cabernet in Livermore. Livermore makes some gorgeous cabs over there.
I don't know if I've ever had Livermore cab.
I don't know if I've had it either.
Yeah, they get the heat. The soil is very clay-like, which cab likes. Funny thing about cab, it really likes horrible soil. It doesn't like loamy. You put it in the worst soil, worst climate, and it makes the best fruit.
It's killing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like on the other hand, on the other side, Pinot, you got to put in the right soil, right temperature,
very
right
finicky.
coolness, everything very finicky. And that makes grapefruit. It's just it's the stepchild of the varieties Cabernet Sauvignon, which is, you know, Cabernet Sauvignon Blanc crossbred with Cabernet Franc. So there you go.
So for me,
What about you?
I think there's some interesting places. I've always wanted, other than Napa, I've always wanted to do something from Amador because of the higher elevation
Mm,
up against
yeah.
up against the Sierras, and or coastal down down along the coast, the Santa Barbara area. I kind of
Well,
want to
Carmel, there's
Carmel.
there's good
I've
cab
always
in
wanted to play
Carmel.
with a little bit more interior,
Okay.
a little bit more on the coast, kind of have fun with, something
Yeah.
like that. But I think Amador is a spectacular place as well. I think they make some great wines out of there, and same with the coast as well. I would really love to. I think that's where I would shoot. It'd be a toss up for sure, but I would choose any one of those.
I would do
Sounds
both,
like
so we could go to France.
sounds like we gotta sounds
Let's
like
all
we
go
gotta
to France
trip on
again.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's that too. Like if I had to make yeah, sure. I totally with you. I was
I could justify the
Yeah.
expense on that.
Absolutely.
R&D. It's R&D.
Too funny. Well, lastly, Ralph. So
Yes.
what would you want to see as Belly Dragger's next varietal? Or what would you want to see us to focus on?
I think like going back to Amador, I think a good Tempranillo or a Barbera. Belly Dragger Barbera.
Oh, there you
Just keeps coming out,
Yeah. Put Tubbs in a little Italian beret, I guess. I don't know. What do they wear?
Yeah.
I don't know. What is that? What is there's some sort, I don't know.
No.
Maybe.
Here, let me just.
I mean, just they're great varieties. Making red wine in a can, you need a little bit more fruit forwardness to
Absolutely.
it in order to really. If you have too much of that tannins into it, it can be a little too much when they can. But I think a gorgeous Tempranillo, like something like how they make it in Spain, like the Rioja area, where it's a little bit more European style, a little bit more of that peach, that white peach kind of a nose to it. It'd be beautiful.
Absolutely, kind of dig that. I can totally get you Rioja.
I like the Tempranillo idea too.
And yourself?
Tempranillo, I think too. Actually, that's funny because I didn't really know what Ralph was going to say. I promise we're not trying to stack the deck here, but I mean also Cab Franc, but I'm going to say Tempranillo. And you know what? I'm also going to say Tempranillo because I just think that, to your point about the Sierra foothills and just other regions of California, now that it's getting warmer, it is kind of a good grape to also just grow, in different parts of California. So
yeah,
I'd say Tempranillo too. I second the emotion.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna say Chenin Blanc.
You said red.
I know, but okay. I'm gonna say I know red. I understand red, but I'm kind of getting off a little topic here. But I'm gonna say for my white. But I'm gonna say for red, I would like to do something Italian, maybe Sangiovese. I think that.
Okay.
I think that would,
a nice ripe one. That'd be really good.
Tavola, nice little ripe little Sangiovese.
Oh, or like just like a Tuscan red blend.
Yeah.
And again, there's really good Sangiovese up there in Amador right now. So.
Or again, we could all go to Italy.
Yeah, very much so.
Someone has Europe on the mind right
now.
Exactly.
So. Catch us on the next episode when you'll see like the Piazza Bar.
Yeah, we're in Rome.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no kidding.
We're on our Vespas.
Yeah.
Well, this has been fun. Great talking with you, Ralph.
Thank you guys.
Great having my partner and the love of my life here with me. And if you like this video, that too. If you like this video, like us, share us, and stay tuned for our next. We'll be talking a little bit more about what we do on the white side, which is Chardonnay. And any closing remarks from any of you two?
For more info, go to bellydragger.com.
Yeah,
There you go.
definitely. And there's going to be more videos to come.
More videos to come. You folks have a great evening. Thanks for spending time with us.
What is
Cheers.
it? Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.